The Denver Nuggets get a win versus the Toronto Raptors in a game that looked like it was. And we back. The Denver Nuggets get a win versus the Toronto Raptors in a game that absolutely looked like it was about to be the most disappointing loss of the season, given the fact that the Nuggets, up to this point, they had been 8-1 and they got down 22 points to the Toronto Raptors, and they were able to get the job done. Jamal Murray, man, you want to talk about a player that had a Jekyll and Hyde first half and second half. Jamal Murray in the first half just didn't look all that invested into the game. Next thing you know, in the second half, he comes out, looks like championship Jamal Murray, goes for 26 and 12, and Jokic puts up one of the rarest stat lines you'll ever see in an NBA game. Let's tap into it, y'all. Y'all know what time it is. Swipa gang. Let's get it. The Denver Nuggets win in Ball Arena to improve their Western Conference best record at home in the NBA, and they absolutely dominate this performance. The Denver Nuggets win 125-119 in a game that, like I said, if you expected to roll into this game, that this was going to be a game, the Denver Nuggets got it done. It was easy. They're missing Scotty Barnes. They're missing Gary Trent Jr. They don't have their regular rotation in the game. The Denver Nuggets absolutely have to get this job done. There's no way. If I had to put my money on a game that the Denver Nuggets had to win, this was going to be the game. There's no way the Denver Nuggets were going to lose this game, and they absolutely came out in the game like they were playing with 40% effort. 40% effort in the first half. They just looked like a team that was kind of resigned to the fact that, look, we've been dominating all year. We've been dominating since the All-Star break. I don't really know if I want to give 100% right now. I don't know if I want to give 50% right now. I don't know if I want to give 60% right now. It was that bad, y'all. In the first half, the Denver Nuggets were cooked. They were down 18 points at half. 18 points at half. Jamal Murray didn't look like he had it all in him, that he was going to be able to give a great game today after having a spectacular game versus the Utah Jazz. But all that went out the window, y'all. Just like the Denver Nuggets do, man. The Denver Nuggets are NBA champions for a reason. This is yet another clutch win for the Denver Nuggets. And you know what? Maybe this is me. Maybe this is just speculation on my part. I can't prove this. Maybe I have to ask Michael Malone or one of them. But y'all, the Denver Nuggets, they just feel like they want to get you into clutch time. And so for the Toronto Raptors, they're like, look, you're not good enough to get us to the clutch on your own merit. So we're going to just go ahead and just take a back seat for the first two quarters of this game. We're going to take a back seat. We're going to let you take care of business. Get your shots off, Grady Dick. Get your shots off, RJ Barrett. Get your shots off, Kelly Olynyk, Ochai Agbaji. Get everybody, get your shots off. 24-6 for Kelly Olynyk, 17-4-7 for Grady Dick. And then Bruce Brown, second homecoming of the season for Bruce Brown. Bruce Brown goes for 30, 13, and 3, 13, 10, and 3 in this game on 5 of 13. RJ Barrett, 26, 7, and 9 assists for RJ Barrett. But y'all, man, the shout out to Toronto Raptors. They were missing 4 starters today, but it didn't matter. The Nuggets decided that this was today, that they were going to get the job done. They were going to win, and that's really how simple it was, y'all. Listen to this. Listen to this. So this is what I said. This is what I said. This is what I said in the first half. Now, this isn't super serious, but I said the Nuggets starters were all playing. The Nuggets were down 68-51. They were down 17 at half, 68-51. The Nuggets starters were all playing. The best explanation that I can give you, is that this is how the Nuggets players are taking rest days while also staying eligible for NBA awards. That's what it felt like in the first half. Like, look, they're just here. They're just here. They're just available. They're showing up. They're playing, but we're not going to give you maximum effort. So it was almost like a rest day. But obviously, that was being facetious. That's not how we actually believe about the Denver Nuggets. And, y'all, they came out and absolutely pummeled Nikola Jokic today. The first stat line of his kind in NBA history. Nikola Jokic, 38 minutes played, 35 points for Nikola Jokic, 17 rebounds, 12 assists, 14 of 26 from the field. He was 13 of 23 from 2-point range, 1 of 3 from 3. He was 6 of 6 from the free throw line, 2 blocks and 6 steals. 2 blocks and 6 steals for Nikola Jokic. a plus 13 with 8 stocks in the game, 8 stocks with 35, 17, and 12. That is an incredible game. There has never been a player in NBA history that has put up that kind of stat line before. So just an incredible game for Joker, man. Joker just continues to show that when the moment calls for it, there's just nobody better. And he could put up stat lines like this every day if he wanted to. He could pummel his way to getting these kind of numbers. But this was an insane night. And I said this early on Twitter, but this was one of Jokic's most impressive two-way games of the season. Now, a lot of this is that you get 6 steals, you're doing something right. That pick and roll defense that he played today, when he was really locked in on that side of the basketball, it was great today. And his rim protection was also good. 2 blocks, 6 steals. Y'all, 8 stocks is nothing to sneeze at. Nothing to sneeze at. Anthony Davis just has 7 steals the other night and 3 blocks, I believe, versus the Minnesota Timberwolves, no Rudy Gobert and Karl Anthony Towns. Jokic follows it up the next night with 8 stocks himself, but has 35 points, 17 rebounds, and 12 assists. And a really efficient night, a 61 true shooting on the night. And that's a little below his average, about 4% below his true shooting average, but got to the line 6 times and converted all 6 of those. So that was a great game. That was a great game for the Denver Nuggets. And I'm glad everybody stayed to watch this game. K Curls, I was about to lock off my computer at the half, but decided to keep my butt seated because I knew they were ramping up. That's a fact, y'all. That's a fact. And again, that's a speculation. Former load manager. And people are speculating, yeah, they did it on purpose. Look, I can't say they did it on purpose for real because I want to give the Raptors some credit, but it sure looked like it. When I saw they scored 42 points in the third, I knew they were going to win. Y'all, 42-30 in the third quarter. Just an absolutely dominant performance for the Denver Nuggets today. And I really loved what we got to see from the Toronto Raptors. Again, they're missing a lot of players, but I really believe in Darko. I really believe in what they're building in Toronto. I really believe in the asset accumulation they have. I like Jakob Poeltl, obviously wasn't available. I like Scotty Barnes, obviously wasn't available. I like Gary Trent Jr. as a scorer. Obviously, he also was not available. But y'all, Kelly Olynyk was a player a lot of teams were looking at the trade deadline to say, look, we can add him as a big off the bench that can give us a lot of versatility and really give us another offensive option, a plus offensive option off the bench. And a lot of people wanted to see him on a contender, but he's playing for the Toronto Raptors. We'll see how they continue to use him and how he continues to develop as time goes on in their system. But Kelly Olynyk, 24 points and played a really good game today, really effective game, took advantage of smaller matchups in the post versus Peyton Watson even at times, drew foul on him, but versus Jamal Murray on multiple possessions in the second half. But this was just an incredible game, y'all. Listen to this. Nikola Jokic, 35 points, 17 rebounds, 12 assists. Jamal Murray, 26 points, 5 rebounds, and 12 assists. And then Michael Porter Jr., man, 33 minutes a night, 19 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 assists on 8 of 14 from the field. He was 2 of 6 from 3, meaning that he was 6 of 8 from 2 today. 1 of 2 from the free throw line, had a block, had a steal. He was a -2 in his minutes. But again, that was that bench unit, especially in that first half. But Michael Porter was incredible, man. So this is the first time, I believe, in an NBA game, actually the Memphis game, but this is the first real time when they've been getting real minutes that him and Jonte have been on the court together. And Jonte Porter off the bench, shout out to him for the Toronto Raptors. 22 minutes played for Jonte Porter, 14 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 rebounds, 5 of 9 from the field, 4 of 7 from 3. And he was a positive in the plus minus with a +1. Today, Michael Porter Jr., Jonte Porter, they combined for 33 points scored tonight, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists. That's amazing, man. I love that we got a chance to see Jonte Porter getting some time. Similar to Michael, man, he had a lot of injuries early on in his high school, later on in his high school, obviously in his college career. And for him to get an opportunity to play at the NBA level and put up this kind of a game versus the defending champions and has a good defensive possession versus Jokic, you know, he actually really leaned into those defensive possessions and he wanted to make sure he was not giving Jokic as much ground as possible. So really good game from Jonte. And so I hope he continues to have a really prosperous NBA career. Obviously, everybody in Denver is rooting for him, want him to be the very best version of himself that he can be because everybody loves Michael Porter Jr. And we would absolutely love to see him have a really flourishing and healthy NBA career just as his brother did. So shout out to Jonte. Shout out to Michael Porter Jr. tonight. KCP today, just 3 points. He was 1 of 3 from 3, 1 of 6 from the field. He has 6 assists today. That's a lot. And 2 rebounds. That's a lot for KCP. His playmaking was on one today. He also had a steal. He was also a +5 in his minutes and played really good defense in the second half, especially. Aaron Gordon, 31 minutes played for Aaron Gordon. He was 19 points, 2 rebounds, and 1 assist, but he was 19 points on 8 of 9. 8 of 9 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3. 8 of 9 from the field, 1 of 2 from 3. Aaron Gordon today was 7 of 7. 7 of 7 from the 2-point range today. Multiple dunk finishes at the rim, cuts, all that stuff. He really was bought into the game today. A defense played up in the second half, especially as well. And he was 1 of 2 from the 3-point line, 2 of 3 from the free throw line, just a -1. But really great game from Aaron Gordon. And off the bench, really interesting. Check this out. So the Nuggets in the first half, their bench unit minutes were terrible, were awful. The second half, though, they went on a run. Again, the Nuggets get it down to a single-digit deficit from down 17 in the second half, now 42-30 run. A 42-30 run inside of the third quarter, and they go down single digits, down just 9 going into the fourth quarter. And you see Christian Braun, 5 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists, 2 of 6 from the field, 1 of 3 from 3. He was a +9 in his minutes, played really good defense, really active defense, was battling on the boards, and he was everywhere in the second half, switching and moving and hunting. And then Peyton Watson, y'all. Peyton Watson today, another made 3 today. Matt Moore, HP Basketball on Twitter, co-host of Locked On Nuggets, Action Network. You can find him. He tracks this. When the Denver Nuggets get a 3-pointer from Peyton Watson, they become a different team. They become a different team because that gives them so much momentum in those bench unit minutes. Because if he hits the 3, everybody knows that what's coming. It's like a tidal wave is coming because he hits the 3, it gets the momentum started. The defense is there. Now they're sitting back in a half-court setting, and it's taking over, man. And shout out to Christian Braun and Peyton Watson, man. They have really been playing so much better as the season has gone on. And Christian Braun especially, he had a little bit of a moment this year where his confidence had kind of skydived. And it really wasn't improving at all. He was missing a lot of shots. His defense was so-so because he just wasn't thinking through the game like he normally does. And then on the other end of this, he wasn't hitting his 3-point shots. And every time he would try to drive, he was getting an offensive foul because he just quite simply doesn't know how to use his body. But he's been playing really well, putting really good minutes together. Again, I'm not talking about just versus anybody, but versus the Boston Celtics. He won his minutes, and his defense was crucial. And he got nice stops. And he was contesting. And today also played really good defense and leaned into it. So shout out to Christian Braun. Continue to play well, young man. You're taking care of business, man, for real. You're doing everything everybody's asking you to do, and you are one of the reasons why the Denver Nuggets are considered a prohibitive favorite out of the West, man. That defense is critical. But Peyton Watson, y'all, let me be clear about this. Let me be clear about Peyton Watson, y'all. Now, I've talked about this. I have absolutely talked about this before. But here's the thing. If you look at the numbers for Peyton Watson, his mid-range shot has become a legitimate weapon. Now, Matt Brooks, I think he got this from Synergy from NBA.com. Peyton Watson is shooting 47% on the mid-range shots. That's good for 75th percentile. NBA.com, I believe, is where Matt Brooks got that from. Shout out to Matt Brooks, writer for the Denver Nuggets. That always does an amazing and great job. The Nuggets community is definitely blessed to have him. But I actually went to Dunks and Threes because I've been tracking this for quite some time this year. And if you look at dunksandthrees.com, their mid-range shot is from 5 feet from the basket to the 3-point line. That's what they qualify as a mid-range shot. On the season prior to this game, Peyton Watson is shooting 50.7% from mid-range. So from 5 feet to the 3-point line, Peyton Watson is shooting almost 51% on those shots, which is good for a 93rd percentile mid-range shooter. 93rd percentile mid-range shooter. Now, limited volume. He's not taking Devin Booker volume, Kevin Durant volume, Shai Gilgeous volume, Jokic, MPJ, or Murray volume, which all of those are elite mid-range shooters. But what Peyton Watson is doing, he is finding a way to create advantages with his speed, with his athleticism, with his IQ, and with his ball fakes. And what's happening is, as Peyton Watson continuing to figure out this game, his ability to go from being the best young wing defender in the league, maybe the best shot blocking wing defender in the league, period. And then to be able to then transition on the offensive end to having a positive skill set where he can create in transition for himself or others. He can get to the basket, decent free throw rate, especially for a player that's driving on that low amount of attempts. But on the other end of this, Peyton Watson is convincingly, and this is not like a fluke at this point. This has been since about December 1st, Peyton Watson has become legitimately a offensive weapon as a mid-range shooter. And I'm talking about whether he's getting it in motion, whether he's kind of coming out of the spin, pump fake, and putting it up with that Kobe leg kick, or even whether if he's doing a little bit of a hedge between drifting away towards the baseline and hitting on the right side of the baseline. Peyton Watson legitimately has his asset to him as a shooter from that position. Now, Peyton Watson is kind of like he's building an archetype from the 2000s. So his game's going to continue to expand as he gets more comfortable in the NBA level, and Malone gets more comfortable at the NBA level with him dribbling and playmaking and all those things. That stuff takes time. But the thing about Peyton is continuing to find out these small little ways to get better on an incremental basis, and it's changing. It's changing the complexion of his team. Because ever since Peyton Watson has started shooting that well from the mid-range, plus his defense, his three-pointers have picked up as well. All that stuff is aiding him in so many ways. So, man, shout out to Peyton Watson, continuing to get better, continuing to do the right thing the right way. And that's how you win multiple championships. That's how you become an all-star level player in this league. Shout out to him and Christian Brown. Reggie Jackson had a better game today. 9 points, 1 rebound, 4 of 9 from the field. Now, he was just 1 of 5 from 3. And he was 3 of 4 from 2 today. Had nice rim runs, nice layup finishes that he had today. He was a -7 in his minutes. Again, Reggie, we're looking for a Reggie Jackson game again. We're looking for a game that when he comes in the game and he starts in that second or at the end of that first quarter or top of the second quarter, where he's able to take over and again take over defensively to be a good defensive option, creating and hitting those shots and making sure he's getting other people involved. We're still waiting on that a little bit. It's been some time now, but again, this was a nice step in the right direction. I hope he picks it up and continues to go from there. -7, Zeke Naji, 2 points in 9 minutes today. But I think I liked his minutes today. He fought. And he was rebounding and trying to rebound at least and fighting on the boards today. But 2 points for him today. Didn't ask for a lot. Justin Holiday played 8 minutes today. He was a -2 in his minutes. So the Denver Nuggets today, they shoot 55% from the field. They shoot 34% from 3 on 10 of 29, and they shoot only 61% from the line on 11 of 18. So losing focus at the free throw line in this game. The Nuggets just had 9 turnovers and 36 assists today. So a 3-to-1 assist to turnover ratio. 3-to-1 assist to turnover ratio for the Denver Nuggets. You love to see it. That's the kind of stuff that continues to propel them to the territory they're in right now, where you're 9-1 post All-Star break. The Raptors had 30 assists to 12 turnovers today. The Raptors shot 51% from the field, 37% from 3 on 11 of 30, and they also shot 82% from the line. The Nuggets had 7 blocks and 9 steals today to the Raptors' 4 blocks and 6 steals. And then they also had 14 personal fouls for the Nuggets and 16 for the Raptors and 1 technical foul. I believe it was a 3-second call on the Denver Nuggets. Now, most importantly, y'all, why is this so significant? Why is this so significant? The Denver Nuggets are 9-1. They're 9-1 since the All-Star break. The Nuggets are now a full game above the Minnesota Timberwolves in the second place, and they are a half game out of first with the Oklahoma City Thunder. The Nuggets are 3 full games above the Clippers at the 4 seed, who are 41-22. The Nuggets are 45-20 with 3 straight wins. And again, they're a half game behind the Thunder, and the Thunder have played 1 less game than them. And I think the Thunder are playing tomorrow as well. So the Nuggets, they're continuing to take care of business. They have the Miami Heat in Miami. Miami Heat and Miami on Wednesday. It's going to be a really great game. Miami is playing well. The Nuggets obviously beat them this last game that they played in Denver, but this is going to be a great opportunity. Jokic had 18, 11, and 7 in that game. Didn't have to be as aggressive. They won that game pretty well. But in this game in particular, Miami's going to really be hunting for it because they're continuing to try to move in the Eastern Conference standings. But the Nuggets, man, they're in a really interesting place right now. They got 3 more games versus the Minnesota Timberwolves that are coming up in the schedule, and they play versus the Wolves on Tuesday, March 19th. So next week, they have the Mavericks and Wolves back-to-back. The next 4 games for the Nuggets, the Heat, the Spurs, Mavericks, and Timberwolves, all going to be on the road. They're all going to be on the road. The Nuggets are leaving this homestand that they had, these 4 straight games that they had at home. They went 3-1 over that span, and now they're facing the Heat, the Spurs, the Mavericks, and the Timberwolves with an opportunity to get ready for the first seed. They're going to be in a real dogfight with the Oklahoma City Thunder. I don't expect that the Nuggets, if they have, if they need to rest, they will rest. Right now, everybody seems to feel good. They feel confident. They're playing well. Like I said, they're taking care of business, so you'll continue to see them get the job done. The Denver Nuggets, they win again, 125-119. Nikola Jokic, 35 points, 17 rebounds, 12 assists, 14 of 26 from the field, 6 steals and 2 blocks. Jamal Murray, 26 points, 12 assists, 5 rebounds, 11 of 19 from the field, 2 of 6 from 3, plus 15 for Jamal Murray, plus 13 for Nikola Jokic. Michael Porter Jr., 19, 8, and 3. Aaron Gordon, 19, 2, and 1. And the Denver Nuggets get yet another win in the clutch this season. Best clutch team in the NBA, y'all. Y'all know what time it is. Make sure that you like, share, subscribe. People know your favorite NBA content, Denver Nuggets content from your boy Swipa. Make sure y'all tell the people what time it is. Y'all know what time it is, y'all. I will see y'all on the other side. We out.